Peace, this your boy Selah Shalom chiming in once again. Just want to touch on little things. Feeling the vibe, the good spirit. The light of Jehovah shine upon us. You know, one of the most important things we got to address is diet. Because if we're going to talk about being righteous, or being godly, I should say, we got to make sure our diet is on point. Nobody's perfect, see what I'm saying? I don't accuse people who eat meat. I don't try to bad talk them or nothing, because I came through that. See what I'm saying? So it's a process for everybody. Nobody's perfect. Anybody claiming to be perfect is a liar. The only one who's perfect is the Creator, and His perfection is creation. This is perfection. Now, the Creator wants you to be pure in your diet. The reason being is because it's a means of communication with angels in service to the Creator. We're not talking about no mediumship. We're not talking about no spirit guides. We're talking about teachers. We're talking about ones who's gonna inspire you to walk in the ways of the Creator. A medium inspires you sometimes to worship them, or to make it feel like they're the deity. So don't get it confused. Every human being has a guardian angel, in spirit. So for every human being on the planet, there's a guardian angel for that person. Matter of fact, let me just read a brief description on that, because your Bible doesn't tell you that you have a guardian angel. And this is very important things to know, because when you do things you think that is done unnoticed, it's being recorded. If you committed a murder that you felt that nobody seen, you got away with it, 20 years went by, it was recorded by your guardian angel. Now, let me just touch on the guardian angels right quick. In the book of Jehovah, chapter 7, let's see what verse I want to start with. Alright, chapter 7 and verse 30, that's where it talks about the guardianship. Verse 30, therefore, such of you, referring to the angels who are being appointed in the heavenly kingdom. Verse 30, therefore, such of you as are appointed by my God and my lords as guardians over mortals shall be called OAHSPE. And ye shall report to your respective lords according to the section of the earth where ye may be. Of many watts shall be the guardian angels, or the OAHSPE. So right here it's telling you that guardian angels are part of the process of the heavenly kingdom. Now, just as you have guardian angels who watch over you, and the purpose of the guardian angels is to watch you from when you were born to when you die. And the report and the record of your deeds are on file with these guardian angels. Now, and these guardian angels may switch up watts, so you may not have one guardian angel your whole lifetime. They may switch up for other guardian angels to have guardianship, because they're learning as well. It's a process. Education is key, because they're learning about how to be guardians. Some of them are more advanced, but some of them are apprentice. They're learning. So check it. Just as you have guardian angels who watch over you your whole life, there are another branch of angels that work hand in hand with the guardian angels, and their duty is to receive the spirit of the dead from the guardian angel with the record of that person's life. Case in point, book of life. Your book of life. Now, verse 31. And such of you as are appointed to receive the spirits of the dead into heaven shall be called OahspeBible. And ye shall report to your respective lords and their kingdoms. So here it's showing you that there is another host of angels, and their duty is to receive the spirits of the dead. See, this is the system and order of the heavenly kingdom, dealing with mortals and what to do with mortals when they die. See, it's a process. Now verse 32. And the guardian angel, or Ashars, shall make a record of every mortal, of their grade, of his wisdom, and good works. And when a mortal die, and his spirit is delivered to the Asafs are the angels that receive the spirits of the dead, the record shall be delivered with them. The record of that person's life shall be delivered with them to the hands of the angels receiving that spirit. And the Asaph receiving shall deliver such spirits with the record into such places in these heavens as is adapted to his grade. See that? Where he shall be put to labor and to school according to the place of the resurrection which I created. So depending on how you lived on earth will determine your place in the afterlife, or in the atmospheric world, or in the heavens. So if you're doing righteous works, there's a place for you for that. If you're doing unrighteous works, best to believe it's a place for you for that. It's a place for that. So all these cats out here killing and being gangsters, throwing up their sets, when you cross over in spirit, it's a place for that. Understand that. And being that it's a place for that, I'm going to touch on that. Now in the book of Jehovah chapter 8, verse 4, I'm going to read from there. It talks about rebellious angels when they don't want to follow instructions. Verse 4 states, the angels under you shall become at times rebellious and defiant, disregarding your laws and decrees, and they shall desert your heavenly places and go down to the earth in millions and hundreds of millions. And they shall drive away the guardian angels, and they shall assume guardianship over mortals. Peep that. They could drive away your guardian angel and assume guardianship over your angel, inspiring you now. And you're wondering why I've been feeling so angry lately, why I've been feeling so hateful, or why I've been acting like this. Because you've been inspired by another deity or another guardian angel. He says, and they shall drive away the guardian angels and assume guardianship over mortals, but they shall develop no righteousness under the sun, but they will inspire mortals to war and destruction. And these angels will themselves take to war and evil on every hand within the place of your heavens. So right there it's telling you that they will inspire mortals with war and destructions. So wherever you see war and destruction going on the planet, best to believe these angels are inspiring them to drive them forth. Now verse 5, it says, with foul gases of atmosphere shall they make weapons of war and places of torment. With these elements shall they make suffocating hells in order to cast one another in chaos. This is your hell right here. Atmospheric angelic warfare. No different than we war on earth. It's the same thing going on above. But in the spirit world, you can't die. So you're just captured and bound and restrained. Verse 6, and mortals who shall be slain in war shall be born in spirit in chaos. On the battlefield, in chaos, shall such spirits enter the spirit worlds, and they shall not know that they are dead as to earth life, but shall still keep fighting right and left. So for all you soldiers who engage in warfare, this will be the nature of your spirit after you die if you engage in warfare. Or if you die on the battlefield, you'll be in spirit still battling, not knowing you're dead. And this is spiritual warfare, no different than physical warfare. So all those soldiers that die in warfare, they still on the battlefield fighting, because their spirit still got that adrenaline going. Verse 7, enemies shall take enemies in these heavens and cast them in places of torment. Because keep in mind, I told you they can't kill each other because they already passed through death. So what they can do is they can contain you, they can place you in places of torment. They can contain you in cells, no different than jail. It's like that. They can contain you until you either riding with them, or they're gonna continue to beat it out of you until you join them. Verse 7, I'm still there. It says, an enemy shall take enemies in these heavens and cast them in places of torment, which they shall have built, and they shall not know peace nor wisdom. Verse 8, and the work of your heaven shall become as nothing, and ye shall turn to going about delivering hells and spirits in chaos. That's the labor that the righteous got to do when you cats mess up. When you cats become false gods and you glory in your gods and now your kingdom fall apart and you in chaos fighting with your people, here come us, man. Damn, we got to clean up this shit. Y'all break it up, go over there, you go over here. That's the deliverance that we got to do to deliver you out of hell. And then that comes judgment, but that's another story. And your labor shall be exhaustive. Verily shall you cry out because ye came and peopled the earth. So with that being said, every mortal has a guardian angel, and that guardian angel inspires them. And through that inspiration, we can detect and see who's inspiring you. So if you're moving in righteousness, we know you're inspired by a righteous angel. If you're moving on some wicked shit, we know that you're inspired by a wicked angel or an evil spirit. It's just that simple. So with that being said, I just wanted to touch on that particular topic with the nature of these spirits. Now coming back to the diet, the reason it's important to keep your body clean is because there are pure realms on the earth and there are impure realms on the earth. The pure realms on the earth reside high in the atmosphere, and the impure realms on the earth reside on the earth. And all the madness and chaos takes place on the earth, being part and parcel with the impurity. So your whole duty is to escape the impurities, but the first way you start to escape the impurities is by purifying yourself through your diet. That's the least you could do is that. You know, if you can't do nothing else, the least you could do for yourself is purify your body. So when you cross over and die, your spirit not lingering in the lower heavens. It's more gonna ascend. But it's more to it than that, because it deals with the service done on the others as well. But this is just to get the boat going, put the battery in the back so you had to understand what you need to do. So just to touch on the impure realms right quick, and then I'm gonna touch on the diet. Book of Jehovah chapter 4. Where I wanna start at. Let's start at verse 9. It says, as I cause water to rise upward as vapor and take a place in the air above, let it be a sign and testimony of other places in atmospheria whereon dwell the spirits of the lower heaven. So he gave you content. He gave you an example that water has certain limits that it goes to in the atmosphere. And it described these limitations and plateaus for the spirits of the dead as they progress. Verse 10. As I made a limit to the ascent of the clouds, so made I a limit to the places of the different kinds of substance in atmospheria. The more subtle and potent to the extreme, the more dense and impotent near the earth. Verse 11. According to the conditions of these different plateaus in atmospheria, whether they be near the earth or high above, so shall the spirit of man take his place in the first heaven, according to his diet, desire, and behavior, so shall he dwell in spirit on the plateau to which he hath adapted himself during his earth life. So right here it's telling you that there's different plateaus. The more pure realms are high above, the more impure realms are closer to the earth. And it's based off your desire, your diet, and behavior where you will be determined in these realms. So like I said, the more impure realm, chaos, the war, the spiritual warfare, all that's going on the earth. We in the midst of hell. We at the bottom of the bottom right here. But the more pure realms are high above. So your whole duty is to try to escape these lower realms and rise up and rise above. So with that being said, purity resides higher up. Impurity resides right here. Now when we look at the book of Sustenance, chapter 3, I think it's verse 27, Jehovah gives an example of spiritual cleanliness and spiritual uncleanliness based off your diet. So check it. Book of Sustenance, son of Jehovah, chapter 3, verse 27, it states, Jehovah said, from the trees, fruits, the flowers, the grains, seeds, roots that grow in the ground have I created a ceaseless harvest going upward into the atmosphere, which shall be the sustenance of the spirits of men born in heaven. So basically he's telling you that the fruits, the flowers, the grains, the seeds that grow on earth will evaporate and precipitate in the atmosphere and will be the sustenance for the spirits of those spirits of the dead. So anything that is living still has to maintain life, whether it be in the physical or the spiritual. In the spiritual, they sustain food and liquids, just like us, but spiritually. There is nothing in creation that sustains itself without having to replenish itself. The vegetation need water to replenish itself. It just can't stay like that without being sustained. So everything has sustainment. Now, verse 27, I'm gonna run it back again. Jehovah said, from the trees, the fruits, the flowers, the grains, the seeds, and roots that grow in the ground have I created a ceaseless harvest going upward into the atmosphere, which shall be the sustenance of the spirits of men newborn in heaven. So if you eating fruits and vegetables, you good on that. But check what it say here. But whoever feasts on flesh on earth shall not find spiritual food in heaven, but he shall return to the butchers and eating houses where flesh is eaten, and he shall feast on the atmospherian parts thereof before it is rotten. Be ye guard of them, lest ye engraft themselves on mortals, feasting on their feasts, and so go down in destruction. So for people who are strong meat eaters, the way they will sustain their sustenance in spirit is by the evaporated scent of the dead animals that evaporate and irradiate will be their sustenance. See the difference? What would you rather sustain off the sustenance of fruits, vegetables that radiates purity? Or would you rather sustain the sustenance of dead animals with flies and the foul smell? That's where you're going to be gaining your food and spirit until you learn to wean yourself off. That's why this OahspeBible is important, because it's showing you how not to get trapped up and caught up in hell or dissension or declination. It's all about elevation and acknowledging who the Creator is and servicing others in righteousness. That's the key thing, principal thing here. But I just wanted to touch on that for a quick second, you know what I mean? I'm out here enjoying nature. Just wanted to drop a couple gems for y'all right quick. You know what I mean? And I'll be back with the next lecture soon. Salute. Peace.